Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. One of the reasons why I tried to leave Romania and eventually I succeeded was Romania's subculture becoming the main culture, or the attempt to get the cockroaches and their subculture into being the dominant culture of the Romanian society. And they succeeded partly. Some of us kept our, I would like to think, class and culture the way it should be, promoting values and real values, ethics, how to call it, principles, virtues, not, everything that's dirty nowadays becomes fantastic. Look at the so-called artists nowadays in the United States of America. Since they can't perform with the voice, they come up 98% naked on stage, and their supposed dance is just mimicking sexual acts. I don't think that is culture. I think that's subculture. I'm sure that is not. But these guys are trying to change that. So I left because in Romania, after 1990, after the communists, which tried to keep kind of a clean society, in which they succeeded. There were no drugs, crime was very low. Yeah, they kept a tight society, but the culture was based on, we were competing with one another in poetry, we're discussing philosophy, we're not, watching garbage and playing video games. Why? Because we didn't have video games. Was that good? Yes. You know why? Because they open up our inventivity. We invented games. We invented all kind of toys. We didn't have, let's say, arrows and bows. We broke branches and we made our own bows and arrows and other things that we did. I can't translate it right now. We build, like, for instance, some little carts that you go downhill, with some bearings. You put the bearings back. Romanians know what I'm talking about. Carturi. Cum erau carturile, the carts, when we were young. We're doing all kind of games like Zala, for instance, and others that we invented, right? Nowadays you go and buy it, what other people invented for you. So they limit your imagination, I would say. And you might ask, yeah, but why are you guys, inventive and so on? Well, why don't you look at the Romanian Olympics team in physics and mathematics, and you're going to find, and in chemistry, and you're going to find Romanians winning the Olympics, global Olympics, numerous times. I was not one of them, but I know people who were. It doesn't mean that I am, but nevertheless, the examples are over there. For the same reasons, America is rich and Romania is poor. Anyway, you got bigger weapons, you go and take care of stuff, and others. So I don't want to take anything from the United States of America. My point is, we have here a below 86 IQ individual with which happens to be the vice president of this fantastic country, and her name is Kamala Harris. She was elected together with the other idiot, and she tells us that the subculture is the ultimate American art, which is hip hop. Well, I can tell you three things that I noticed in Romania in a cultural trend that I was talking about. One, on the TV, you would see whores, you would see, or ladies of the night, I'm using euphemisms, you would see illiterate people, and you would see, how should I put it, low quality people being promoted as valuable. And that's mainly what you saw all over the place. And they were copying whatever was nasty here. They were copying and they were making everything what these guys were doing. And I said, that's not, there's a subculture pushed as a culture. I can't say it in English. I wouldn't say it in Romanian. I don't want to, Romanians know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so here Kamala Harris comes and tells us, remember, she's a know-nothing. She knows probably how to handle it, if you know what I mean. Handle it. Hard to handle. That song that was, again, media, promoted by Black Crowes, the band, but it has a long history. Anyway, even Tom Jones sang it. Hard to handle. So here you have this article coming from these weasels, and it says this. Kamala Harris says hip-hop is, and I'm quoting the idiot, the ultimate American art form at 50th anniversary party. So if hip-hop becomes the ultimate American art form, then you have subculture mimicking as the dominant culture, and you're in bad shape, because those guys in charge of us, they will not fall for this. They still listen to Mozart, Beethoven, Tchaikovsky, and others, Paganini, and so on, Vivaldi, and Haydn, and whomever. I can go on and on, all right? Smetana, and Enescu, and Bartók, and Liszt, and so on. So they're going to listen to those guys, not to the hip-hop. They let us be like worms, like worms, like on a carcass. They let us be there with our hip-hop. This idiot doesn't know what she's talking about, but she's talking about it. That's her level. Hey, she was elected in office by some like her. Can't they see through her? What level of understanding those that electorate has if she couldn't see through this mediocrity at best? So let me read further here. And I'm quoting, hip-hop culture is American culture, the vice president told attendees at the event. All right, and she talks about rappers. Well, rappers, it says, hip-hop culture is American culture, she added, noting that Public Enemy rapper Chuck D has described rap as Black America's CNN. Please, my fellow Americans, blacks, African Americans, however you want me to call you, I don't give a fuck actually, you know who I'm talking about. Don't allow that insult. That's not your Black America is the rap songs. Don't do that. I think, and I'm allowed, because by the way, music has value. Not all music is the same. No. Music has value, different kind of value. Now, it's like a painting, an idiotic painting or something that really represents something that makes you think about it, employ something on it, get a different kind of taste, different kind of satisfaction. I remember when, anyway, don't allow yourself being dumbed down by this idiot right here. Let me tell you a little story. When I went to college in the United States, University in the United States, I had one of the three teachers / professors, educators that I admired the most. Two were Romanians, this was American. His name was Melger, Arthur Melger. I made another video and I mentioned him before. So this Arthur Melger, a fantastic guy, intelligent and courageous, and class, was one of the only professors that came dressed with a tie and with a suit, two-piece suit. And he was a professor, and he was intelligent, and he was bold, had balls like this. And we were doing, he was a professor of political philosophy. And we were doing whatever we're talking about over there. And you see, I lost it. I have to remember what the hell I was talking about. Yeah. And he was talking about different kind of pleasures, a superior pleasure versus a more rudimentary pleasure or satisfaction, trying to prove happiness and so on. Happiness is a repetition of not lusty things, but intelligent things that last longer. For instance, I'm going to give you an example. Some people say that happiness comes, when, that's why he was trying to show scratch. Okay, not the balls, but anyway, I touched the ground for the balls. And he said that, and I agree with him, that's why eating food or having sex, these are low-level pleasures or satisfactions. And he claims the reason why is because they pass very quickly and they don't engage anything of depth. Versus, he said, and a good example, looking at a painting. For instance, let's say you have sex. You can have sex, and after you had sex, you're done. All right, let's say you do what you're supposed to do, and after that, you're done. What are you going to do? Try again? Okay, well, how many times? 3 times, 4 times? You're limited, okay, in time and, okay? The same with food. You eat as much as you eat, you got a full belly, and that's it. That you can't eat no more, unless you go and throw up and eat again, like the Romans, some Romans did. But still, it's still a pleasure. I'm pointing the fact that it's a pleasure that has a limitation. Whereas if you look at the painting, you can look 3 days and come back the next day and look again 3 days. You're not gonna be satisfied with what it gives you. It's a different kind of pleasure. It's a superior, more refined, and that's why more refined pleasures, like for instance, if you listen to a classical composition, it's not like candy shop, I don't care what you heard about me, not that, that's simple. You hear that 3 minutes and you don't want to hear more because it's just same. But listening to a classical composition, you have an orchestra of about what, maybe 120 pieces over there in the same time, playing something with no false falsets. They have to. Can you imagine how much practice? And then we can hear only 5 sounds in the same time. That's, I think, how much we can hear. And we can hear 6. We cannot 5. That's why if you look at an orchestra, usually you have their positions in a certain way for the ear and so on. So anyway, on the orchestra, imagine you have the violins. You have about 20 violins. They're gonna play in the same time. That's the reason why they do that. And then you have, I don't know, the string. Then you have the chords. And you have the trumpets. It's they call it differently. I say trumpets, but brass, I think you call it. All these things, how they go up and down, and they tell a story without, I don't know what you heard about me. Not that. Okay, that's all. If you look at the songs in general, you're going to realize they go up and down. That's all they do, up and down. Beep, bop, beep, bop, beep, bop. Versus a classical composition, it has not only the rhythm, which usually don't have it as a composition. They started having in the 20th century, the rhythm. I don't want to get involved because I'm not an expert on that, but they have the musicality and how they intertwine with one another. The sounds, the music, the notes, they make you think. You listen and say, yeah, I don't fucking understand it. If you have someone next to you and explains that to you, you discover a great deal. For instance, just to help you, if you were not aware, there are some videos on YouTube that you can access, for instance, that could help you. For instance, look at something easy. The four seasons of Vivaldi, all right? The composition. You can take only one. Let's say you take spring, and someone will explain what you're supposed to understand out of that, how Vivaldi envisioned it. So you can hear birds chirping, wind blowing, the trees, the clouds coming over, that's in autumn and so on, and the late summer and so on. All these things he expressed. Why? Because he was not an idiot. Or candy shop. I'm using 50 Cent, obviously, but which I like, 3 songs for a certain kind of mood, but that mood is not an elevated, because it doesn't make you think. You're gonna listen to it 3 times and you're done. You got that's it. That's why we cannot allow Americans, Black Americans, African, do not allow yourself to be insulted by this know nothing sucker about this is Black America CNN. Why? Because they give you what? I'm a pimp and I'm gonna this female dog and I'm gonna do this. Give me some so I can. Is that what it is? Is that what you are? No, you're not that. You're not that. Don't allow yourself to be fooled by this. See you next Tuesday, okay? Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.